Come on, man. Come on, man.
All right, here we go again. Yeah. Time to check some people. More swirl. Tahara Bay. Islam. I guess I gotta do what I gotta do. That's right. Islam. We for love, truth, peace, and freedom. Won't nobody do it, leave it to me, I will. You lames, you gotta chill, you so not real. I've been watching you fake snakes acting different, cause you don't live in the hood and don't get public assistance. Man, my people be tripping when they think they better. All type of degrees, still dumber than ever. So corrupt and foul, but they know how to hide. They polish their life, it look good on the outside, but pull the veil back and I expose them all. They be tricking worse than them shorties up in the mall. Getting high as a kite, beating they wife and got a mistress and got a nerve to look down on you. Them brothers is cursed, even worse than the know-not. We know who you are, but all the heck you do is throw shots. We see what you got. Okay, you made it through school. Okay, you overcame. Lord, homie, that's cool. That's cool. So, you done came up with your little education. Now you wanna look down on me and my peeps? Well, keep on looking down. That's right. And watch us. We on the come up. That's right, fam. Let's go. I'm sick and tired of these lame old frauds. Keep picking up the mic device, acting so hard. I've been through that fire, the type of things you never heard of. Little lanes like you will commit self-murder. You acting like life's so sweet over a beat. In the street without your heat, you clowns is weak. In the spot in the box, you straight mince meat. Them tattoo tears make you look like a geek. Little sideshow freak, acting like they G, acting like they me, or who I used to be. But they all be embellishing, no effing intelligence. Taking care of your seeds, irrelevant, impressing them shorties, cause she got a little shape. But her nail and her weave, her whole style is fake. How can she be a dime, her brain flat line? Her birth canal is probably foul as swine. Spit a few bars.
We back in the building, family.
Put you on.
Like
you hard.
We back in the building, family.
Nah.
You ain't hard.
Straight bluffing.
You bluffing.
I'm getting at you. Let's go.
Come on, man. Come on.
I'm trying to tell you all, just wake up. How many lives will we destroy to get caked up? How much time
What
will
up,
it
the
take
guy?
to even the score? How many dope babies
on the NICU
How
floor?
many queens gotta turn into crackhead whores before we understand our savior is yet to be born? We got eyes to the sky, the solution is in us. God put that with us. We born winners, we choose to be sinners. I play Allah, forgive us and forgive me for the way that I choose to deliver. But my message is the same as the Holy Quran.
No nobody block Amen TV. He got a guest in the house. His name is Amen TV.
The people you look down on, they be the only one that you can count on.
Yeah,
Like
boy.
your mother, father, sister, or friend. We need to realize what we got in the end. Ain't nobody coming to your rescue but you. Instead of running your mouth, won't you see what you can do? Your life is
sound, can y'all hear me?
sacrifice, and black people stop being
How
so
sound, can y'all hear me?
trifling. Asiatic, stop being so trifling. Come on, people, stop being so trifling. It's time for us to come up.
Can y'all hear me?
We gotta stop playing, man. More step to the front. Stop acting like you bougie.
Check, 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 check. Can you hear me? Press 7 if you can hear me. Family, welcome to another edition of Morse World TV. I am your esteemed host, Brother Tahara Bay. Please, family, please do not block Amen TV. Amen TV. Please do not block Amen TV. Please do not block Amen TV or anybody's that's associated with Amen TV, Amen, whoever it is. Because at the end of the day, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, we want to make sure that people get anybody talk about moist lips, block them. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure that people get these lessons. You know, one thing about me, as y'all know, Morse World TV citizens, y'all know I've been doing this for about over 5 years, and my position has always been to expose these frauds. That has been my position. Y'all been walking with me on this walk for most of that time. And no matter what somebody has thrown at me, I've either debunked or, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, if he gets the cursing and he gets to spamming the chat, then we just block him. We'll just let him watch from the background, you know what I mean? We'll just let him watch from the background if he's spamming the chat. But nevertheless, but y'all heard all of the stuff. Somebody said I was stealing copper out of building one time. Somebody said that I beat Sonetta even said I beat my wife with a bat. Yeah, he said I beat her with a bat. I beat my children and dragged them. What else? I am a sex offender, or you know what I mean. What else they say? I took 80,000. I don't know how that number. I just heard the new one that I got 80,000 from somebody. That was a new one to me. I mean, and we heard all of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make a difference. We heard all of this stuff over and over again. And but today what we're talking about is when somebody say no, you threw a sealed diaper in her face. Oh yeah. All right. And then she said Janelle, and this is the sad thing about it, because this is the weird thing about these people, is that Janelle is actually my son's mother and she's alive and well. This is crazy. This is how crazy these people are. They didn't put her in the ground. She's alive and well and doing really good. They didn't put Sister Janelle in the ground. But anyway, whatever the case may be, let them continue to do what they do. But anyway, our job today is to expose this thing that's so attractive to our people called cults. And these cults, these cults that are so attractive to our people, they need to be exposed. You know what I mean? They really do need to be exposed, because even the one that just puts there and say rest in peace to my oldest children mother, you know, that just goes to show how crazy that is. You know what I'm saying? That they're going to protect the cult leader with anything that they can come up with. And that's the sickness of the cult. That's the sickness of the cult, because when you in deep into the cult, you're going to fight for the lie as long as you believe in the lie. And that's listen, when you're talking about cults, you're talking about people that will drink Kool-Aid for Jim Jones. You're talking about people that will stay inside of a building with David Koresh, knowing that the military is coming, knowing that the military is not going nowhere. They're not going to back down, and they are going to possibly lose their lives in the building. You understand what I'm saying? And with that being said, that's the extreme measure of cults, and that's the danger of cults, because cults even when you look at a Ruby Ridge, these type, and they banging out with the Europeans, and it doesn't matter whether you melanated or not. When you talk about cults, you're talking about people that are willing to give their life for a lie. You understand what I'm saying? And somebody said, did you hear about the cult member in Kenya that killed 404 people and starving them? He just got convicted. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the thing about a cult. A cult, just like the people in here, they listen to the cult leader, and man, he was holding his child in his arms, and he was cussing like a sailor. I mean, and they didn't see anything wrong with that. They coming in here to fight for him now. I don't think, probably no one told him that wasn't right, that wasn't appropriate. You know what I'm saying? That he was literally cussing. I mean, he was calling B's and H's and N words, and it was a little child absorbing this energy. Now, to the unconscious mind, they would think that, man, this is a child that don't understand. But the energy, words have energy, and words have power, and our being absorbs these energies. And when they absorb these energies, they got to come out some way, somehow, at some time. And that's what you see in the world today. We have absorbed a lot of negative energy. We have absorbed a lot of negative vibrations. Words that comes out of our mouths are vibrations. You understand what I'm saying? They are vibrations, and these vibrations have to go somewhere. And when they go somewhere, they also have to vibrate within that space, or they have to get out of that space. And if it's a lower vibration, at some point, the lower vibration has to come out, because we are part and parcel of the universal creator, and lower vibration cannot stand within that spirit when it starts to develop. And so if that child grows up and the spirit begins to unfold, then it got to let out that dirt, that filth. It got to let out all of that early ugly vibration. And sometimes it come out in trauma. Sometimes it come out and looking for attention from men if it's a little girl. Sometimes it come out trying to be a gangster, or even joining the LGBT community if it's a little boy. Sometimes it comes out in various ways, but that energy has got to come out. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, somebody said, what do that has to prove? What do that has to do with disproving what was alleged against you? We're not doing that show tonight. Not tonight, sugar. We're not doing that show tonight. I'm not going to disprove nothing. I did it all. Okay? We're not doing that show. This show is about your cult leader tonight. Let's just say you believe it and I did it all. Have a good time with it. We're talking about your cult leader tonight. So I'm not we're gonna talk about your cult leader tonight. We ain't talking about moist lips. We ain't talking about none of that. We're talking about your cult leader tonight. So don't ask me, did I beat somebody with a bat? Don't ask me, did somebody slap me? Don't ask me any of those things, because we're talking about your cult leader tonight. That's all you getting tonight. You ain't getting nothing else. You ain't getting no moist lips. You ain't getting no, I stole copper out of a house. You ain't getting, I stole a car. You ain't getting, I'm a woman beater, a child abuser. You ain't getting none of that tonight. The only thing you get tonight is a cult leader in a fake Superman shirt. That's all you get tonight. Now, with that being said, family, let me give you the outline of what we need to look for in the cult leaders, because you might be in a cult. You might be in a cult if you are part of a group and they have these type of things going on. So I want you to watch me real quick. Listen to me before I bring in my guest, because I want you to pay attention to this, because this could save somebody's life. This will save somebody's life. I believe it can save somebody's life, and I believe it will. So with that being said, yeah, they say I took cop out of the house that I actually owned. That was so crazy. Look at him stealing cop out the house like I own the house. What are you talking about? Anyway, That was just crazy. But all right, let me jump this up real quick, and then I'm gonna bring in this conversation. I'm gonna bring the conversation up. So these may be Europeans that wrote this, right? But these may be Europeans that wrote this, but I think it rings true on a lot of levels. So with that being said, it says according to the Cult Institute, there are specific warning signs to look out for when considering whether a group might be a cult. Now, and we're going to go over this in a minute with my guest. Absolute authoritarianism without accountability. In other words, there could be look like a council or something, but at the end of the day, one man or one woman make all the decisions. That's one of the signs that they make all the decisions. They make all the decision as it relates to the doctrine, how everybody move, and the disciplinary action. One person do that. That is a sign of a cult. Now, when we look at a cult from absolute power perspective, that means, number two, they will not tolerate criticism. You follow me? They will not tolerate criticisms. And when they get criticized, as we witness on Moorish World TV, they lose their mind. Didn't y'all witness that? Press 7. He lost it. If y'all happen to slid by him doing a presentation, he just lost it. He just went nuts. I mean, he just went nuts. You follow what I'm saying? So that's just what it is. That's just what it is. So when you look at that, right, it takes us to number 3. Lack of meaningful financial disclosure regarding budget. In other words, he just let it flow. He ain't got nothing to show for what you have contributed. And he's been doing this for over 10 years with nothing to show for it. He said himself, when he was on Moorish World TV, he said himself that they only meet twice a year. He said himself, we don't have a meeting place. We just meet up twice a year. And I would assume that would be a hotel or some type of place. That's what he said. You know what I'm saying? Now, number 3, it says unreasonable fears about the outside world that often involve evil conspiracies and persecution. One thing that he highlights a lot is that that we're stupid and that you need to be a part of this intelligent group right here that follow the God Amen. And if you don't follow the God Amen, you could be sucked into the degrading place where we see other quote unquote black people. And he is the prophet of Amen. Did y'all know that? He is a prophet. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that he was a prophet? Press 7 if y'all know he was a prophet. And he gets his words directly from God. Did y'all know that? According to him, his own words, he gets his words directly from God. So that gives him absolute authority, because how are you going to question him if he gets his word directly from God? Do you see what I'm saying? So this is a sign of a cult. You know what I'm saying? He gets those words directly from God. Now, number 5, a belief that former followers are always wrong. Do you know they got a whole page where they beat up followers? They got a whole Facebook page. In fact, I want my guest to stand by. Wait with me for a minute. They got a whole Facebook page where they listen, family. We're gonna show you about this cult. I mean, this fits. This is the classic example of what a cult is. Watch this. Watch this. This is a classic example of what a cult is. On people Facebook page, right? I'm about to show it to you in a minute. People Facebook page. And if I show anybody picture that was a part of this and no longer a part of it, I truly apologize. But let me tell you, sometimes we got to give our life as a willing sacrifice so we can save others. You know what I mean? That's what we got to do. We got to do it. You know what I mean? So I don't mean to try to put you on Front Street, but I'm not going to bring up too many people, but let me just bring up a couple real quick. So, all right, that's it. I'm going to bring up 2 or 3. So with that being said, so they got a Facebook page that literally goes in on anybody that decides that they no longer want to be with it, or they do not agree with them, or they don't see the accountability for the cult. So with that being said, here's one right here. Let me pull this one up real quick. This is, I don't know this brother, and brother, I apologize for putting you on Front Street, but this brother here, and it's called the Republic of Mentellect Reject Page. This is a perfect example of an ungrateful clown who was a former member who slandered me, yet still uses the name I gave him. This is what the cult, understanding the cult says. It says that this is what they do. And it says, Frank, whatever his name is, the clown Johnson, and he used the N-word, ain't it. You know what I mean? This is the prophet of this cult saying this, right? This is the prophet of the cult. Now, let me get one more real quick, and then we can move on. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, John Williams L. Let me give you one more real quick. This is, and remember what I'm saying. This is one of the things that happens when the cult is understood, when you understand the cult. You know what I'm saying? When you understand the cult. One more second. Let me just pull it up one more time. Everybody bear with me. Because I got to set this up properly so you can understand where we're going with this. It's a belief that former followers are always wrong for leaving, and there is never legitimate reason for anyone to leave. Abuse of members, right? Abuse of members. We're going to talk about that tonight. Let me pull up one more real quick. And the crazy thing is that this is it fits the profile. Do you know what I mean? So if you are a part of this, you should be able to see this in yourself or see this in somebody. And if you don't see it in yourself, you ought to see it in somebody. And if it's not you today, it will be you tomorrow. So you can just disregard and say, well, nah, they did this. You can make excuses and reasons, but if it's not you today, it'll be you tomorrow. So they say this one, they put her on there, took her picture and doxed her, called her a bid wench. We know where it is. So it might be a connection to Moist Lips with this too. You know what I mean? So I need to tread lightly because this might be a connection to Moist Lips because they use the same type of terminology. And all of this could be a setup in the first place. You know what I mean? Because we know how them people work. But this is he doxed her. I blocked her eyes out, but he doxed her for leaving. And not now. Let me don't get it twisted. I only showed 2. It's a whole Facebook page. You hear me? It's a whole Facebook page of them doxing people once they leave. And like I said, last but not least, before I bring in the music, give me 1 second. Let me pull this up one more time. Because I got 3 more items to hit real quick. When you here you go. So it says that records, books, articles, and programs documenting the abuses of the leader group. And if you go online, you actually can find these things. And I think we're going to save that for a later date. But in fact, we're going to bring people in who have experienced the disrespect and abuse. Followers feeling that they are never be good enough, a belief that the leader is right all the time, a belief that the leader is exclusive means of truth or given validation. And number 10 is a big one because he claims to be a prophet. And so these people that follow him believe that he is exclusive in knowing the truth. And that's the sign of a cult. Now, at the end of the day, you don't have to go by this framework. But let me tell you, if you pay close attention, you'll see a revolving door with these type of organizations. Coming to the stage, we got my sister Jamila in the building.
Hey.
Back in the building. Now you know that at the end of the day, they really mad over there.
Oh yeah, they pissed off.
They mad, and you know the weird thing about it, it's supposed to be I thought it was supposed to be a spiritual organization, but the vibration is so low. Do you hear?
No.
Did you see how that man cursed in front of that baby?
Oh yeah, it was so disgusting, Tahaka, that I had to keep going out and coming back in because this brother, like I said the last show, I didn't meet him like this. But to see how low down he is, he's calling women bees. And this is in front of the so-called wife and the baby.
Yeah.
So I'm just not getting it. And apparently it's okay. His mouth was utterly disgusting. And he did this twice.
But he's supposed to be a prophet, though.
That part. He's supposed to be a prophet. And look, another thing I realized is that I remember when he was going over like his history and going through his initiation with the Nubian Masonic Lodge or whatever. And he talked about their initiation dealt with a lot of mental challenges to see if they were strong enough. And when but then he also said he doesn't even practice, you know, what he learned. So my thing is, whatever you learned, he need to get that back because his mental is not right.
Hey, Mentellect. My homeboy Mafia Lane said he tried to join, but you better watch out for him because I'm gonna tell you, he did a lecture in Baltimore. He swoop whoop all the way through and through. He did a lecture in Baltimore, and he said he going to knock out and spill blood of all these no good parents. And the way you acted on that TV, your blood be on the floor. Because he went in front, the guy right here, Mafia Lane Entertainment, he did a lecture. We was at the lecture, and he stood up there, and because he do a lot of work in the community, he said, oh, you no good parents, I take you all out and take the children. I said, goodness gracious, brother, this is you're talking about bodies. So if he joined, you can't be cussing around them children like that. With that being said, now, what I want to do is I want to come back to Sister Jamila, but I want to bring somebody on real quick because Sister Jamila, she have done some research and she want to bring some truth to the matter as it relates to some of the things that have been said over the internet about this code. But as of now, I'm gonna bring in Sister. We're gonna bring in the Essence. Let me bring in Sister Essence real quick. Sister Essence, how you doing, sis?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I got an echo, but I don't even care.
Okay.
But what I want to say, and I'm gonna let you flow.
Okay.
Sis, how long were you a part of?
2 years. About 2 years. But I was listening for about 2 years as well. So I was already hip, but that was me not having direction. for 2 years. I didn't have direction of who I was, where I was going, what I wanted. And after I had my child, that's when things started getting a little heavy for me. So I said, I'm going to go ahead and join. I'm the type of person that I'm not going to put everything on the line. So if I'm going to do something, I'm going to make sure it's what I want to do. So this was more of a spiritual step for me, for my spiritual journey. But as he would say, because again, remember, I was listening to him for 2 years. But as he would say, it's soul. So it's soul journey. That's what I called it. But being in there, it's a whole different perspective. Because it's not even about soul. It's about soul harvesting, but it's not about soul.
Let me ask you, and y'all got to excuse the echo, because I think I got some feedback. Can you hear the feedback on your end?
Mm-hmm.
How can we stop it? I ain't sure. Anyway,
hold on. Let me. It's me. It's me.
Okay.
Hold on, real quick. I'm listening to you though.
Okay. Now I'm gonna pause there for a second. Let me get to Jamila while she's working on that. Jamila, what was the process of joining? When you joined, you said, okay. Because let me tell you something, Jamila. I'm going to keep it a whole stack. I'm like, Jamila is super, super sharp. How in the heck did she fall for this one? And I'm asking you the question that some other people may have asked because you've been on the show. What was it that made you say, okay, I'm going to give this a shot? But you only stayed 2 months, but so.
Yeah, I wasn't there for too long. To be honest, I think I said that I was listening to the cast maybe for like a year because someone asked me if I heard about them, and I said no. And remember, this was maybe about, 2 or 3 years ago, but prior to that. So we have to go all the way back, and just like Sister Essence has said, I was or I've been on that spiritual journey as well. But there was one cast that this brother did, okay? And as you know, I'm registered as in the Nation of Islam, but I'm inactive now. And, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I hold him dear to my heart. I grew up in the teachings and things of that nature. So Nuben did a broadcast saying that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is King Khufu. If you're not familiar with King Khufu, he was the one that excavated Giza, okay, in Egypt, okay? And I've been doing a lot of study on this, the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And one thing I noticed was the Pyramid of Giza is in our lessons. And so I'm trying to figure out, why is this brother saying that? He's showing the only statue that they had of King Khufu, okay? And it looked just like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And so it piqued my curiosity because I'm like, what is this brother tapping into? Because I've never heard that ever before. And there were other things that he said on the cast as well. So I didn't know where he got that from, what that was about. And I just started searching, but my objective was to find out who this brother was. And that's exactly what I was able to do. Real easy though.
Wow. So let me get back to Essence real quick. She muted for some reason. I didn't mute her, but let me get back to
Okay.
Essence. Oh yeah. So now we don't have an echo. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Praise the Lord. So Essence, I'm glad you can hear me. So when you join, now I want to give an outline of this. Because I'm a member of the Moorish Science Temple of America, I'm looking for organization. I'm looking for structure. I'm looking for accomplishments. I'm looking for something that is tangible. And as I've been looking into the cult of Mentellect, I don't see much tangible. I don't see much organization. I don't see much. I see people, but I don't see much structure. I don't see much organization. I see soothsaying and good speeches. I mean, not even really good speeches, but the truth and falsehood strangely mixed. Because even if Elijah Muhammad is kufu, and say that to be true, there is 9 things that's not true.
That part.
So when you joined, were you expecting organization in the application of building towards something, even the spiritual journey? But I'm talking about tangible too.
Yes.
So what happened when you joined? How did that work? Say the first week that you joined, what's the process?
So he'll have one of his I now call them minions, but he'll have one of his minions or his wives or whatever he want to call them, his mistress, whatever. He'll have one of them contact you to get your information after you've applied. I don't remember really how I applied. I just know I came to him and said, "Hey, I would like to be a part of Mentellect." He said, "Do these steps from blah 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 blah." But once all of that was approved, I had to write a letter. I had to write a letter to tell them why I wanted to be a part of Mentellect. It was approved. Then he had one of his minions call and get the rest of the information to send a packet, address and stuff like that. So after a while, things started, I started feeling good about stuff. The process was quick and it was easy, but after a month or so, that's when things all it takes is a month. All it takes is a month to start seeing stuff like, okay, you would think it's supposed to get better, but you're not hearing a lot. You can't even discuss. He hasn't even sat down with you and had a conversation one-on-one who you are and who he is. Mm-hmm. So when I started seeing that, I was like, okay, but he wants to know everything that you're dealing with, that you're going through. So you want to know my problems and tell me how to fix them your way. But when I'm trying to tell you what's really going on, you don't want to hear nothing because you think that I'm a Black woman, that I don't know what I'm talking about, and everything is my fault, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just kind of like, okay, again, I'm in a seat to learn. So I'm not in a seat to argue. I'm in a seat to learn at this point. So I'm taking what he's saying in consideration, but I know me. So do I have some ways? Yes. And I'm willing to check that. But as it started prolonging and I know that I was making the changes that I was supposed to make, and he kept trying to make it seem like I'm just a liberated Black female that he be yelling out in his broadcast, you're not finna put that voodoo, hoodoo magic on my name. That's not what you're gonna do. That's not who I am. I've showed you who I am. You have yet to show us who you are. And that's a problem to me. Because how am I accepting help and advice about my life from someone who hasn't even showed us that his life is going how it's supposed to go?
Well, let me say. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, sis. Go ahead. No. You can go. You can go.
I was just gonna say, just because you have all these different things going on as far as revenue, financial revenue with this whole Herc and comments, you stole other people's ideas to do that. This isn't your stuff. That's why it's not going anywhere.
Let me ask you, because there's a mental manipulation trick. Mm-hmm. There's a manipulation trick where one of the greatest manipulative tricks is someone create a problem and then they create the solution. So they look at your life, and your life is never really a problem. In life, you are met with things in order to unfold into your greater self. It's not really a problem. It's all in perspective. You know what I'm saying? But they will take the challenges in life that they will interpret as problems, but they're only challenges to make you better on the other side. But they would take those challenges, polarize those challenges, and try to give you a solution to those challenges. But they will make those challenges like sins and make those challenges like detrimental to you, when these challenges are actually just a part of the journey. Everybody don't tell their journey. Everybody don't tell their challenges. So we don't know everybody's specific challenge. But trust me, if you are in the flesh, you have challenges, but these challenges are meant to bring out the better you. Do you feel as though that the manipulation was about that, taking your challenges, calling them problems, polarizing them, and then trying to act like they're giving you a solution?
Yes, that is wizardry at its best form.
That's what it is. Absolutely. Absolutely. And for those who watch this program, Morse World TV, I try to reverse that psychology so they can see it. Because what I just said, I just painted a picture, and they should be able to see it. You know what I'm saying? They should be able to see that is the classic. That is the classic dragnet of getting people into a cult. You take their weaknesses, and the European does that too. Absolutely. He look at our weaknesses and he polarized them and get us to polarize them against each other. And while we're at each other, he remains in the dominant position. Now, let me ask you, what is the philosophy? You've been there. What was the philosophy, the spiritual philosophy? You know, like, I know he got Amen. Amen is the God. He is the prophet. Did he ever say that he was the prophet?
In so many words.
But I seen a video where he literally says now, he's bold with it now. So he didn't say it directly back then.
To be honest with you, once he started talking about him, I would tune him out. He just started getting to a point where I used to be like, I'm just here for the lesson. I don't want to hear about you. I'm just here about the lesson. But I don't remember him saying that he was a prophet. He would say he's a receiver. Yeah, he's a receiver of the Lord. And like I said, in so many words.
Right. And he has videos. Prophet. Right. How about you, Sister Jamila? Did he ever come off or say to you that he was a prophet? I heard multiple videos where he said, yeah, I'm the prophet. And if you don't get it from me, you ain't getting it.
No, that's the representative. That's like the person who he wants people to see. But remember, in the last program, I knew him personally. We spent a lot of time talking on the phone. And, you know, he had a lot of insecurities. I do know that. He didn't necessarily want to even continue with Mentellect. You know, he was ready to do his whole retirement and, you know, just leave it all behind. So with me, no, he never really took that on as far as, you know, him being a prophet of Amen or the Lord Amen. But on the cast and with the other members, at least, you know, when I used to be on the phone on the three-way with other members, that was his portrayal. But he would consider himself a mentor. So that's why everyone called him Mentor, based on that language I was telling you that they learned. So mentor equals Mentor. They just put the Z in it or whatever.
Well, let me say this. So here on Morse World TV, I have went over, and I ain't doing it no more. I've went over my record. I did everything. Yeah. I've never hid my name from nobody. Everybody on the internet know my name is Toronto Johnson. You're not exposing me. I mean, I got what they would call an indigenous name. Why would I try to hide my name mama gave me? Toronto, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm really transparent. Everybody, you know what I mean? Like, I done took people in that around the neighborhoods with the camera. I didn't let everybody know me. Everybody know any challenges of my youth, my overcoming and everything. In joining this group, what if anything did you know, and I'm gonna start with Sister Essence, what did you know about him as a background besides the spiritual stuff that he has built a reputation for?
That he used to be a Mason. He's from New York. He went to college. He had a woman and it didn't work out, and he started Mentellect.
And that's it. And see, that is, and let me tell you something. That is a common thing. That's a common theme as it relates to one. And I'm not saying that he's an agent. I'm not saying that, because I think we sling that word around too much. Yeah. But that's a common thing of an agent. The common thing of an agent is a hidden background.
Come on.
The common thing of an agent, and one thing about the agents is what they do is they get paid to sow seeds of division and misinformation, disinformation, and they really can't qualify the information that they're given because it's not founded on nothing solid. And that's in this day of the internet, there's many people out here where they got a blank background. Like so say somebody pull up my record, right? Guess what the benefit of you pulling up my record? I exist. I don't care what you find. I exist. I don't have to tell you. I don't even have to explain nothing. You can take it or leave it. But guess what? I exist. If you pull up my record and say I was convicted of armed robbery in 1990 at the age of 17, at least you can trace me back to 1990.
Right.
I exist. But when you look at these people who are sent to sow seeds of division, they don't exist. And recently on his response to Morse World TV, for the first time since he's been on the internet, he tried to give himself a pass. A history. He tried to give himself a history, and he dropped the ball so many times.
Horribly.
He was desperately trying to give himself a history. And a lot of what he was saying, and we did this in Chicago, and we did this here, did that, but it never really sewed together, weave together who he is and where he come from. That is one of the biggest red flags, especially in this day of social media. If you are watching this, family, and you decide to join a group, you ain't got to interrogate nobody. But if one is asking for your support, then they should have some sort of history that can be discovered.
Another thing that I found odd too is when you first join, he wants you to send a money order, a blank money order. Don't fill it out. $25. Okay. And this was actually in that article that I had pulled up as far as him being a cult organizer. So to ask for money and it's not written out to anyone, he could fill it in on any, for anything. So that to me, that was odd, but because my curiosity was piquing, I kept going because I wanted to see where is this going? Because again, I'm used to organization. I was in the Nation of Islam under Farrakhan, so I know how things are. And like I said before, his organization was pretty much set up. His group was set up very close to the nation. So for me, it wasn't okay.
And let me say this too. She said 25 is no money. It's
she would say that.
Yeah, but it's not the 25 that's the point. It's the blank money order that's the point. The blank money order, and what is the underlining purpose of a blank money order?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? What is the purpose of that? You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, when I look at, and he said it on here, he's like, we don't come together. We don't do that. We do it twice a year. Sister Esther, so everything was via the internet?
Yes, everything was via chat. Everything was via Facebook and phone calls, text
What
messages.
was there any talk? So for instance, I chose to get away from all the charlatans and weird Moorish groups and all of that. And so we've been pardon me, we've been in the process of building the Moorish Science Temple of America in the image as Prophet Noble Drew Ali laid it out. And so I created something called the Virtual Moorish Science Temple of America, where people all around the country can join and get the true teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And if so desired, then they can put a store or temple in their community. You follow me? Put a store, temple in their community, but it may start on the internet and go into the community because that's where the real work is. You know, so was there anything that say, okay, we go from this lens to the ground and build this republic, because it's called the Republic of Mentellect?
For them, for the ones that he built his foundation up close to him, they were set.
Right.
But everybody else had to walk on nails and pins just to even get to him. You know what I'm saying? Like he had to, like one time I had asked him, and this was an emergency because I was dealing with things with my child's father, and I'll get back with you. I'm doing something right now, blah, blah, blah. So I'm just like, okay, I'll wait. I'm dealing with the police and stuff. And next thing you know, he doesn't know what's going on. What's the problem? So I tell him, and he instantly is going off on me. And I'm like, how can I'm trying to explain to you what's going on, and you're mad because this is happening to me? So instead of being a mentor and helping and say, okay, go get your stuff, do what you need to do. And my daddy don't even talk to me the way he was talking to me. So in my mind, I'm just like, what the hell did I get myself into? Because I'm like, right. This, I know I'm in a learning seat, but again, I'm here to learn, not to be crucified.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just kind of like, okay, I really want to hang up on his ass, but I'm gonna be, because I really want this. He's calling me back, and did you do what I told you to do? Did you do what I told you to do? And I'm just like, so right there, I still stayed. But right there, I knew not to trust him. Right there, I knew not to trust him and to keep an eye on him, because it's something about him. And I'm the type of person that I'm very strategic. I will let you think that you're getting away with something because I know that you're trying to manipulate me. And then to ask me for pictures, so I just saw that, he wants to be a mentor. When it first started, he wanted to do this. He did it right. Somewhere in between the years, he got compromised spiritually. So things. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't mean to cut your wisdom. I used to do things like that. It's like, well, something went wrong. Like they started off like this, but in fact, it always been in them. And that's what we got. That's because unfortunately, we will make excuses for people.
It's always a grift.
You see what I'm saying? But that's always been in him. It was just the time he was playing double dutch. He was outside the rope when back in the day when he was trying to be a mentor. But when he got up into that rope, he began to not get caught up in the rope, and he got a lie after lie. He got excuse after excuse. You understand? He got all of these stuff going on because now he's paying double dutch. But when you don't get to see, many people when they say, well, something went wrong down the line. Nah, they was just trying to get in the game. They was more cautious. You know what I mean? Because let me show you something. They was more cautious. One thing for sure, he was with Dr. York, right? So Dr. Menkarayzz York, he literally went from the streets. I mean, he went from the entertainment business. He got comic books. He produced tons of books through his membership, but put his name on them. He got comic books. He literally went from the streets of New York to a compound, if you will, some land in Georgia. He was reverenced as probably a prophet of God for many of the followers. He was a part of that. He's seen that.
Right.
He wanted some of that. He wanted some of that. And so when you see the doctrine of Mentellect, it's all over the place. It doesn't make sense. And one thing for sure and two things for certain. When those people ran up in that compound, I don't know if he was a part of that or not, but they didn't put some people on the payroll. They didn't put some people on the payroll.
Can I just say this real quick, Essence? Because I know you're trying to,
and let's yield the floor to Essence. What do you think about that, Essence, after Sister Jamila?
Okay, so what I did want to say real quick, as far as a building, or you had asked the question, was he trying to establish like an actual brick and mortar situation? I do remember he and I having a conversation about that. There was this big church building that he wanted to get at one point in time, but nothing never really happened. And again, that's all part of the grift. Let me put things out to say because I'm new. You understand? So he had to perpetrate like he was really trying to build, and me coming from the Nation of Islam and him knowing that I've done a lot of grassroots work, he had to say things to make it seem as if he was really, trying to do something, and he really wasn't. But go ahead, Essence. I just wanted to put that out there real quick.
It's okay. What was you asking?
He shows the signs, and I'm not saying that he's them peoples, but when the feds ran up in Dr. York's movement, Tahara Bay, many people on the other side got on the payroll, and this is a fact. Many people got on the other side, and if they were facing any type of prosecution because somebody said something that they shouldn't have done, whether it was with a child, whether it was with adult, whether it was criminal, whatever the case may be, those are the ones that they put on the payroll. And it's kind of odd that you cannot find much with this brother. You know what I'm saying? You can't find much. All you find is the doctrine of Mentellect. You can't even find much with him with Dr. York.
Right. That's what I was about to say.
You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, did you get a sense that you were giving up too much information? Because one thing that these people do, they collect information. Yes. They build a profile. Did you feel like that the information, it seemed like a collection of information and the possibility that this was not what you signed up for and could be something other, a covert organization? Did that ever hit you?
Yes, it hit me when my child's father and him was on the phone together, and they were basically ganging up on me. I'm a part of the Republic. My child's father wasn't at the time. So in my head, I'm like, So what was the point of this? Because I'm supposed to be getting help. And now it just looks and sounds like you got on this phone with my child's father to have a bitch fest instead of trying to figure out a solution of peace, because that's what I'm all about. I didn't come in this to criticize and justify rights and wrongs. I came here to find a solution to peace because I want a family. I want a traditional family. The things that he was given was agent. I don't care. I don't like now. And it's sad because at the time, like I said, I just wanted change. I just wanted change. And he plays on people's lives like that. He plays
What
on
did you
people's lives like that.
do? You have what stood out to you that you would say, that's a little bit, it's a little bit agency right there.
Um
I made that
it's
word up, agency.
Agency.
it's so many, it's so many, it's a range. You understand? It is a range of things, but he's very
Just looked at my watch.
sneaky.
I got time today.
He's very sneaky. Okay.
Right.
He'll go from one person. You won't even know he spoke to people. You won't even
He
know he
does.
spoke to certain people. But next thing you know, you'll get a phone call from somebody that you probably don't even know, but you probably seen them in the chat or something, or you probably converse with them, through the chat. But they'll get in contact with you, and you trying to figure out like, how do you know this about me? Because I didn't tell you anything.
Right.
I didn't tell you nothing. But another way too is, like you said, it was another sister that was a part of it, and he kicked her out. And I was still a part of it, but he had kicked her out. And she was, I mean, she was telling it all. She was telling it all. I mean, everything.
I looked at my watch. I got time today. What she say?
And it
That
just
part.
it just blew my mind. A lot of the things that saw the other day on the broadcast when he came on,
Right.
as far as like, how he treats his women, how he is around his children, that's what she was exposing. Now, granted, I seen how he treated me, but now we talking about people that he so-called laid down and had children with. Now we talking about people that he's around 24/7. Now we talking about people that are younger than him and who needs his guidance. And you mean to tell me that you out here abusing them, calling them bees and hoes, and giving them the bare minimum? You spreading yourself thin amongst all these people, but you're not giving them what they need. He ended up telling me one day that I need to get my legal situation taken care of. But it was kind of like, you put me in that situation because you the one, I told you how I am with my parents, and you told me to go to Tennessee. Now he's telling people go different places. He's moving people around from places where that's all they know, just to put them in situations they can't get out of alone. They're going to need him. So he's leading people to the slaughter. But
That's what I was saying. They create these problems
yes,
and act as if they're going to
yes,
fix them.
yes,
That's
agency.
it.
And then, like you said, that word you made up, agency. Because again, if you were really here for the cause you say that you made up, that the Lord called you for, a lot of people would be way ahead and would be up there with you. And this movement, this organization, whatever you want to call it, it would be well known than it is right now. He's
I don't
stating
think he's
that
trying to get it well known though.
No.
exactly
And
because
the
it's
reason,
going to be exposed.
yeah. He's
Because,
not.
be,
I can tell
yeah.
you this, sis. Look, I can tell you this.
We get hype like, oh, hold on.
Look,
Right.
he doesn't want that. He doesn't want that.
Yeah.
He needs agency narcissist behavior
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
he
Mm-hmm.
for
He's
all
very
intents and
sneaky.
purposes, this is a job.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
This is a job, and most likely, he's an employee.
Yeah, he getting paid to mislead. Most definitely.
Most
He is
likely,
getting
he's an
paid to
employee
yeah.
that
Mm-hmm.
appears to be the boss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You
But he
understand what
don't
I'm
run
saying?
shit because he don't know nothing. And it's like I said, I don't even see it as a call. I see it's evolved into a coven. Because like I said, we're in spiritual warfare right now. We're in spiritual warfare right now. So for him, like I said, to play on people's lives and mislead them, he doesn't understand that this is this is what he's getting now. So him being irate and being exposed like that, this is what you get because you have put people in situations on purpose to get ahead, and you still in the same spot. I don't understand that.
And the thing is, like, and see, I think, uh, uh, uh when say a person like Morris World TV, like you could say whatever you want. They, like I said, they didn't put my mother on the screen, and they did. Man, I tell you, they didn't dragged anything. They didn't found anything. I don't care. I'm so
Right.
confident in
Right.
me, it don't make a difference. But at
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day, he will be trying to reclaim what he's about to lose,
Mm-hmm.
because this is seriously a
That
cult.
part.
This is seriously a cult. And when people and the people that already with it, they might be gone till November. But the people that are waking up and that would be interested will see a video like this and say, that sound good, but I ain't going that way. Now, he said on the show on Morse World TV, I said, man, you need to calm down. I said, where your wife at? Tell him calm down. He was like, this is my house. I run this. Don't no woman tell me what to do. I mean, he was really aggressive as it relates to, and I really making fun, kind of like, bro. I was like, where's sis at? Sis, talk to him. I was really making fun. You know what I mean? And he went in. My
Mm-hmm.
wives don't tell me nothing. Did he do, in your experience, is that how he treat the women of the organization? Like
Mm-hmm.
he is top dog and they
Mm-hmm.
must bow to his every demand and command?
Women don't mean much in that community. And if so, it's because they have their own talents and their own business and their own money. But if the women have to depend on him in any kind of way, shape, or form, oh yeah, he big dog up in there. That's how he feel. But that's not the reality. And for him to talk about that and teach that in his broadcast, he teach a lot in his broadcast. But just like in one of them, he said there was one truth versus lies, and in there he did say, now this is what messes me up sometimes because this is what this is what agents do. This is what coven and cult leaders do. They'll tell the truth, but like you said, it's a whole bunch of lies. It's truth in the lies. So
Mm-hmm.
you don't know. That's the spell. That is the spell right there. So I'm just sitting up here like, and even the people who did go into Mentellect, they are awakened. They're just under a trance and they don't know
Right.
it. They don't know it.
What's with did you think that the shades was odd? Because when he came on Morris World
Mm-hmm.
TV with the shades, I'm like, when one thing that the elders used to always say, and I'm sure Jamila may have heard this, and hopefully you have heard it too, but she been in those conscious circles. I'm sure she heard that when people wear shades, they're hiding their eyes so you
Oh
can't
yeah.
see what they're really talking about. So you may have heard that too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you think that was odd?
Yes, because the eyes are the windows to the soul. So you shutting your eyes out made me feel like, what are you hiding? Do you not have a soul? Do you sell your soul? What is going on? But
Right.
then it came to a point where he actually explained it. It made sense, but it was just kind of like, but he said I wear shades because I don't want people to see what I'm thinking or try to get in my head or what I'm thinking, because you got people out there who try to put different type of stuff on you and that energy and stuff like that. And in my head, I'm like, I thought if you don't deal with spirituality, none of that should affect you.
That's right. And if you a prophet of
Okay.
Amen, then you are
That part.
supreme over that. There's nobody can enter into your cipher because you are supreme over that. You are
You
directly
protected.
connected. Yeah.
Right.
Well, let me say this. I don't know who this Moorish brother is. Whoever this Moorish brother is, put your name in the chat. I don't know if Sister Essence have a friend or a husband or whatever, but he out here trying to get obligated. He said, I want to know
He
Sister
trying to holler
Essence.
Essence.
She is certainly, listen, he hit you with Moorish vernacular too. She is earthly Mobitus. He didn't give you the Moorish. Look, he gave you the Temple Mobitus vernacular. He said,
Look,
gorgeous sister.
I gotta look it up.
He
Thank
said,
you.
get more in tune. I don't know who you are, brother. I'm not familiar with your page, but Islam. he gonna go get
That
what he
part.
wants.
Okay. Listen.
Oh my God.
Yes, indeed. That's classic Moorish. Damn.
Not y'all got me up here blushing.
Let me say something about those shades, though, Tahaka Grand Sheik. Let me say something about those shades. Okay.
Yeah, come on.
So if you notice, at the end of the 70s, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad wore shades all the time. Dark. There's pictures of him with the fez and the shades. Now, Nuben claims to really hold Elijah Muhammad in great esteem. Okay. He has the part on the side, like Farad Muhammad. He always talks really highly of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Okay. I think the shades is just basically trying to be like somebody that he's not, to be honest. He's always high. So we're clear on that. And he was clear on that. He's not trying to hide it. So,
but I think
that's all I think it is.
But I think also he may, and this is just speculation. He may have adopted that because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But the weird things that he say, the weird things that he teach, it will show in your dilated pupils when you lie on that level.
Absolutely.
It will show.
Yes,
you can't hide that. The body will react when you know that you're lying. You know what I'm saying? Now, let me ask you, did he give the teachings about beings? Because I read something, Sister Essence, that he says that that black people are not human beings. Did you hear that one?
Yes.
He said we not even human beings. And this is one thing about a cult, one thing about agency behavior. They always develop something that's unique to themselves. You understand what I'm saying? This is why you got like FBA and you got all of these unique new things. And these things are ultimately distractions. You feel what I'm saying? They're great distractions, and they're not even designed by the one who propagated. They're designed by someone that you don't see. And so he says that we are not human. Can you elaborate on that? You was there. Break that down to us.
So let me just say this before I go into it. Okay. A lot of the stuff that he was broadcasting is the truth. Now, these are secrets that we have been kept from. And this was a way for, them people, the elite, to get out, because they're not going to come out and just tell us the truth. They have to have different faucets to do that, because there's so much that's been hidden from us.
Right.
So these things that he's teaching and that he's putting out in the lessons are secrets of the world, but he is still misleading because, again, truth in the lies. So
I want to get to that before you go. I want to get to the human part. So Are you of the thought that we're not human?
I believe.
Just be open, sis, because I want to elaborate on that. Just be open. It's all right.
I believe that we have that in us, but as we are evolving in this day and time, we're becoming something more.
Let me ask you this before we end this. We're gonna sideline this real quick because I'm doing this for people who listen. When we say we are not human, first thing that we have to do, man made language to describe that which he come to understand. Mm-hmm. So human, what is the definition of human before we go outside and say we're not? Right. You understand what I'm saying? Man created the language. There is no spook that created this. So what is the definition? It's 2 words, but what is the definition of human or the etymology of human to say that we're not?
Being of this earth.
See, now let me say this, sis. That's where the trick knowledge happens. Mm-hmm. Human is something real simple.
That's what he teaches.
Hue is color, tone, complexion. Hue. Man is
color.
Not just man. It's just not man. It's the essence that reside into this flesh. Mm-hmm. So you got mankind. That's a kind of a man. Mm-hmm. We know that's them folk. Mm-hmm. Let me give you the science. That's them folks. And you got human. Men with a hue. That's man. That's woman. Womb. Woman with a man with a womb. You understand what I'm saying? Man made these words. Mm-hmm. And so to say that we not that, our ancestors made these words. In fact, you know what I'm saying? We just articulate them in the English language. Mm-hmm. Now, Polite put it in such a way. Here's the trick knowledge. Polite put it in such a way. He said that we are extraterrestrials. Mm-hmm. Dr. York says the same thing. Mm-hmm. But the science
That's
of
what
it
I wanted to.
This is what Polite says. Yeah. He said, within this flesh, that spirit, that energy have to come from somewhere. Mm-hmm. And he's saying that it came outside the realm of earth. And that's how he justified saying we're extraterrestrial. But when you get to the flesh, the hue, the texture, the tone, the color, and the energy that was called man, then sure, we're human. Now, that doesn't mean we don't evolve or unfold into a greater species of human. That doesn't mean that. You know what I'm saying? What we going to evolve until we levitate? We're going to evolve until we float away? You know what I'm saying? That it still doesn't matter because on the earthly realm, we still human. And that's how the technology comes in. Because let's do it like this. They can't even figure out how the pyramids were built. You feel what I'm saying? They can't even figure out how the pyramids were built. They say aliens built it. People still hold on to that our ancestors built them. Whatever side of the argument they choose to take, it doesn't matter. But what does matter is that there was a superior intelligence that built it. And we are lacking that superior intelligence at this time because we can't even figure it out ourselves. So as man unfolds, we unfolding into a superior intelligence. And that's the trick knowledge of Mentellect. He's saying that you are an exclusive with a superior intelligence. But if you watch him, he's not of his superior intelligence. Yeah,
and I'm sorry, I gotta say,
I just want to underscore again, I don't want to change anybody's viewpoints on life. I'm just saying that the word human is created by people. It didn't just Europeans didn't create language. They made variations of the language of our forefathers. They couldn't even talk. They came out the mountains grunting. They couldn't even talk. So they made variations of our language. It's our language. They didn't create no language. And so when we look at the etymology of it, when we look at the essence of the definition, older definition, when the word came into the lexicon, see, you don't know nothing about that. We know that it was created to express something that we saw. Nobody gave that to us. You understand what I'm saying? And now, if we want to say we're not human, then we got to go back to the essence of when the word was put into the lexicon, put into the human vocabulary, and see what it was defined as. But it's nothing spooky. But I don't want to change my opinion. But I just wanted to say that out to the people. But that's how technology works. Okay. That's how technology works. They would take something as simple as human and make it something that is not. You know what I'm saying? Like we super beings. We're not human. We're super beings. I mean, you can still be a super being and be a human.
But I wanted to elaborate on
according to definition, a human, according to definition, can still be a super being. A human in definition can still be a prophet. A human in definition can be an angel. A human in by definition could be all of these extreme, elevated, spiritual or intelligent beings. They don't change back by definition what a human is. Yes, the floor is yours, sis. Go ahead, take it away.
Just real quick, Taka, because
take it away.
This subject gets me excited because this is the kind of stuff that I like. I enjoy this kind of stuff. But aside from all the "you not human" and all that, my question always was, where you getting this from? Okay, and when you further go into Dr. York's teachings, this is where he's getting this from. So I took the liberty of taking some notes, okay? And of course I got receipts because I have saved documentation. But the bottom line is, Nuben says that, around 2003, something popped in his head. We know that story. And he was seeing the word Mentellect. Something...
we don't know that story. You better run that back. Your sister Esther better run that back. And Sister Esther better chill out before I get that Moorish brother up in here. Y'all better not skip this one here. He's seen something in his head. I didn't hear that one.
Okay, so this was on the response part, one of those. Okay, because I don't just look at his cast. I study what he's saying. Okay, and I take notes.
Let me tell you, I didn't watch it. People sent me clips. So I didn't watch it. So I'm too busy to actually watch that stuff.
Right.
And then when I tuned in for a couple of seconds, he just was rambling and rambling.
And carrying on.
He thought he was really saying something. I said, this man sounds like a maniac.
Yeah.
I was like, whatever.
But I was able to extract some things that was necessary to prove that he is a copycat, because he said that he wasn't in the cast. Okay, so the first thing I want to say is he went into how the whole Mentellect thing started. Okay, he gives a time frame between 2003 and 2010. I believe 2003 was around the time Dr. York got locked up, if I'm not mistaken. 2003, 2004, something like that, right? So he said he saw, or something popped up in his head, and he saw the word Mentellect. Okay, no science behind it. It just happened. So then he said, okay, Mentellect. So because he was trying to figure out what he's going to call his group. Okay, he's trying to figure out what he's going to call his group. And then he said, now this is the kicker. Then he said,
it's on me to cut your wisdom. He back in here. He said 2001, 1 minute, and look. He said 2010. I think it was a typo.
Oh, whatever.
This is the true sign of a narcissist. He didn't change 3 accounts since we've been live.
Yeah, that's what he do. It's horrible. Let me finish.
Come on, I ain't gonna interrupt you no more.
And then he goes, another word popped in. He's seen it, and it was Kamen. And then he spelled it out, Kamen. Kamen. And so then he said, and this is what he's saying on his broadcast. He's saying, dang, I don't know that word. What's that word? And then he said, oh, it must be Amen. So he got Amen out of Kamen. And then he said, I realized that Amen was some, ancient Egyptian god or something. But no, it can't be that. It can't be that. So poof, Mentellect starts. Okay, with Amen being the Lord and Mentellect being the name of this group. Okay, and now he kept saying, but I didn't want to copycat. I didn't want to copy from Dr. York. I didn't want to, he kept making that like a point that he didn't want to copy. And so then when he goes into explaining what Amen is, He said Amen is not a being, although he says Lord Amen as if it's one, right? So then he says that Amen is a lost race. And I'm saying, damn, I heard that from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the lost tribe of Shabazz. Okay, the 55, that like, I'm hearing this and I'm saying to myself, this sounds real familiar. We got the lost tribe of Shabazz. Some other persuasions got some other lost races or tribes. And so according to him, Amen is the lost race. And so I sent you some excerpts of an article from Dr. York. And Dr. York goes into the Anunnaki. Okay? Dr. York goes into the Anunnaki. And wow, when you read about what Dr. York is saying about the Anunnaki, it's sounding real familiar for what Nuben's talking about. So
well, let's take a look. Let's take a look real quick, sis. We got all night. We got time. We got some time. We got a little bit of time. Hopefully, Essence got a little bit of time because we can do a part 2 too. It says, after colonizing Mars, the Anunnaki came to the planet, then called Ka Tamtu Ke Tiamat. They broke up into groups of 300 each. 300 Anunnaki went northwest and set up Tillman, the city in Lil, also called Nippur or Kadesh, the holy place, for they could not live with Enki and something disagreeable ways, so they stayed in touch with supreme beings, the Etherians. The other 300 Anunnaki broke up into 7 tribes, and Enki ruled them all in his kingdom called Nod or Nud. First, the ship crashed down in the Arabian Sea and moved to Iraq and set up a home away from home in order to mine. And boy, that sounds like you absolutely right.
It sounds like Xenu. That's what that sounds like.
And they called the place Eridu. Enki was the ruler of. Now let me stop right there. You know the weird thing about this, the strange thing about this, and anybody that watches Moorish World TV, you would agree with this. He brings up, I mean, that right there, the Enki thing. Shout out to Enki. But the weird thing about it is that all of these people came through Sinetta.
Mm-hmm.
All of these people that was coming for the community, trying to get money out of our people, all of them made their debut on Sinetta.
Yeah.
And who's there on Sinetta couch right there?
That would be him. And he plays victim. Yeah.
And who is beside him though?
Take that Enki.
Enki. Minister Enki.
Crazy.
Isn't that ironic though? Isn't that this is the lost history? But I'm gonna tell you, the gates opened and put people in our community by the way of Sinetta. But finish up and let me get back to Essence real quick. Go ahead, sis.
So real quick, when we talk about the whole human things, calling black people humans, he actually has a cast about the whole creation, right? And has a book on Genesis, Revelations for dummies, or whatever. Like he actually wrote a book about it. And so he's saying the Amen breed or clone primitive beings and blah, blah, blah. People that study Dr. York stuff know that this is Dr. York's conversation, okay? So in essence, the Amen supposedly breeded their DNA into these things called Enkiduites or something like Shaggies or whatever. They were like beast-like people, and there was a cloning or genome splicing happening. So that's how you got the beast gene and then the Amen gene, okay? So in essence, this is his teaching originally, okay? And so this is why he called black people humans, but the first black people were the East Indians, okay? So he goes into the whole Yakub story, but he switches stuff around, okay? Trust me when I tell you, it's classic, okay? But at the end of the day, he's not sticking to that because ain't nobody rocking with that because people know Dr. York's stuff. And so that's why he makes it the younger people. So the age group is like 20, 18, 20 years old. They don't know nothing about Dr. York. They don't know nothing about his teachings. They don't know anything. Okay. They're fresh meat, and he can give them this, talking about, I'm getting, transmission from this fourth dimension, wherever that is. You know what I'm saying? He's not plugged in. And I'm not saying that there's not people plugged in some ways to some ancestral stuff or whatever. I'm not denying that, but I know for a fact that this dude is not plugged in.
Let me say this. Let me say this before I get to Sister Essence. One thing that we have to understand is that what qualifies someone plugged in. One of the things is the old heads used to tell me when I was a young brother. They said, "More, you gotta get yourself together. A law don't come to no dirty house." And a law just signifies the universal creator, the divine energy. The divine energy does not unfold in a dirty person, and I'm talking about dirty of the mind.
That's
dirty
right.
of the mind. It does not happen. And so for him to just be vulgar, you got to understand, vulgar comes from a place, an energy field. And for him to do that in front children, the way that he did on his broadcast, the way that he cussed and he sent me a voicemail and he called you everything except the child of almond. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I already know.
He sent me a voicemail. And so what I'm saying is, you cannot, the energy of the divine that dwells within us is but a seed. And that seed cannot unfold like the seed of the rose. The rose is just a seed to begin with, but it got to be planted in proper soil. It got to be nurtured properly before it can unfold into the bud, till it can go to the bud and then show the rose. You understand what I'm saying? And the human seed is like that. It's planted into this soil. And then that also must be nurtured properly in order for it to unfold. And so when you see someone with bad character, bad language, and let me tell you something, I don't mind the bad language so much if the spirit behind it, because sometimes people demonstrate justice with bad language, and it's justice and balance. But when you have someone that's of low vibration, there's no way in the world that they can be connected to anything divine outside of themselves nor within themselves.
Absolutely.
Period, point blank. It's impossible. It doesn't work like that. You know what I mean?
Like that.
But now, Sister Essence, when you was a part of that, what is your background? Were you a Christian before? Were you a spiritual? Was you what type of understanding of the universal creator? What school of thought was you coming from, or was you just winging it? Like I before more science, I was winging it. I'm telling you off the break, I was winging it. My mother never forced me to go to church. I like to go on Easter, get them eggs and that candy. Mama said, "You want to go this week?" Yeah, you dug all right. They go give away Easter baskets. But we was, I wanted to go on that day. But my mother never was. My mother was a disciplinarian. She was like, I mean, you ain't got to worry about going to hell. I'm going to give you hell. You better respect everybody and keep it pushing, or you going to get up out there. That was my mother. You know what I'm saying? But what was your spiritual background before you joined? And when I say spiritual, I know they say they ain't spiritual, all that. But what I'm saying is connected to the divine, if you will. Whatever is appropriate. What was yours?
When I was younger, my family introduced me to Baptist church. So I wasn't the type of person to be all up in that, I just was like, we going to church. Okay, what I'm wearing. That was the kind of kid I was. But as I got older, my parents started to see the struggles with church, and we stopped going. So we knew the Lord was all, that's all. That was my background.
Right.
So for the longest, it was just, I'm just praying to the Lord, but I didn't know how to protect myself spiritually. And that's what needs to be taught to a lot of us, because even though we're in a part of the world right now where, everything is falling, and it's falling for a reason.
Absolutely.
And when it comes to, everything else, all we have at the end of the day to follow on is spirituality, because even religion is being torn.
Absolutely.
So within this last year, I've spiritually encountered a lot of, I'm not going to say weird things because nothing is a coincidence. And I have encountered so much to where I'm just like, I can't deny nothing. I can't deny nothing because of how I think. I'm not a negative person. I do what's necessary. I go to work, I come home, I take care of my child. I'm not out here in the streets. I don't do all that. So I've actually made the changes that I needed to make without religion, without it. All because I know that there is someone higher than all of this. So I dare step out of line.
There
I'm
you
not doing
go.
it.
There you go.
I
It's
know
a
better.
saying. It's a saying in the Moorish Science Temple of America that true religion, I'm adding true, but it said religion was pretty much established by our forefathers to show our infirmities, to show our weaknesses, so we can correct it. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So religion is not predicated on a book for real. They
Mm-hmm.
codified Christianity, they codified Islam, they codified. But before there was a book, the principle of what's right and what's wrong is inside all of us. Many
Mm-hmm.
of us get the book to be reminded if we get the right book. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? To be
Right.
reminded. But some of us are so in tune that we can hear that angel on this shoulder. We can
That's
hear
right.
this angel and we can ignore this devil on this shoulder. You know what I'm saying? So many of us are there. You know what I mean? Many of us are there. The thing is that religion has become codified, and now it's entertainment to many, it's a pastime to many, and it's a
Right.
grift to the majority. It's a grift. It's just
It's
a
for the
hustle.
weak. In
Yeah.
my opinion, it's for the weak. Because like you said at first,
the
it was
intelligent
meant
going to
to
use it to subject
exactly,
the weak,
exactly. Because like
the
you said at
wickedly
first,
wise.
it was made to show our weaknesses so we can repent and we can do better and we can change and evolve into something greater than we were yesterday. But now, like you said, they taking that, the people who are over that, they getting paid for it
That's
by the
right.
government, and then they feeding you bull crap. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
some of it isn't bull crap. Some of these churches really do help people, just like for me. The Lord is not going to do nothing that I can't overcome. So me being a part of the Mentellect was for a reason.
absolutely.
There was things that I took from that, and the Lord said, "Okay, you got what you need. It's time to go. It's time to go."
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I believe that every religious persuasion, if you will, is a stepping stone
Yes.
to your development. So
Yes.
even and please don't take it like I'm trying to convert anybody, trying to persuade anybody into more science, but that's just my school of thought. And when I hear you talk or Sister Jamila talk, it brings up little things that I've learned over the years. You know, it says the wise man would find the wise man would find the good out of the worst. You see what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Right.
The
Course.
wise person was find the good out of the worst. So
Come
if
on.
you are in a situation and you feel as though you was traumatized, you always got to see the silver lining.
Come
Thank
on.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mentellect. Guess what? It won't be a part 2.
That part.
It won't be a part 2.
Yeah. And
And the,
we say in the nation, we always say settling on the best part. You know what I mean? So you
yeah,
can always, because technology is mixed with some truth, but there's an element of poison, you can always extract the truth from it and leave the poison aside. And that's exactly what the sis is doing. And other sisters have done it too. They're just not here to share their story. But
and I
she's
want
not the only one.
and I want to say one thing about the Mentellect. From what I've seen, at the end of the day, you just got to take the life experience, but
Yeah.
everything else you got to throw away.
Yeah.
Because it's too convoluted. It's
Yeah.
too convoluted. The life experience is, why did I walk to that door? What made
Right.
me walk through that door? And can I see that door again if it's painted another color?
Right.
Will I be able to see that door? It's the same door, but now in other words, will I see the next Mentellect? What made me walk through that door? And that's when the introspection happens. You know what I mean? That's when it happens. And so that's the greatest part of going through some stuff, that you are able to take the life experience. But the actual lessons there, like that human stuff, even if you feel some of it was right and true, you got to throw it all away. You got to throw it all away and just put it. Don't throw it. I mean, don't bring it. Don't take it to the dump. Just put it out back. Just put it out back. And
in the back burner.
That's right. Just put it out back and do like they say in the Christian church, get a baptism. And I ain't talking about go to church. I'm talking about the metaphysical cleansing of the soul and be born again, fresh slate. And when you see that stuff that you put out there in the trash, that's the same thing I got back there in the trash. It's right there. It's right there. And, no, and that's what life is really about. And so, like, again, it brings us full circle where one will take your challenges and make them your problems, and then they act like they're going to fix your problem when in fact you have the power to fix it yourself. Yes, because they're not really problems.
But just, you know, the main thing that really stands out to me with this group though is the misogyny, and I keep using that word.
That's what I wanted to get to when she comes back. That's another thing. So you take it away with that.
Yeah. So my issue mainly was the misogyny, and the misogyny means hate, prejudice, or disdain for women. Okay. And one thing, when we come with a lot of talents, a lot of creativity. I was only in Mentellect for such a short period of time because I noticed misogyny right off the bat. Okay. Yeah. I noticed that there's no way that this man loves women. There's no way that he could love women the way he talks to them, the way he treats them, because my witnessing, and, you know, he'll act like he care, you know, but when he talks about black liberated female, and he sounds like that manosphere, you know, there's this whole Kevin Samuel energy going on where the men are now the prize. The women are no longer the prize, but the man is. And so he brings that energy of manosphere. I hate women, you know, and I wish the doc was here because we could talk about the psychology behind, you must have been traumatized. Even on his cast, he had mentioned that when he was going over like how it started, he mentioned that he was in a 5-year relationship with this sister. Okay, he was 33 at the time. He was in this relationship with the sister when he was first starting Mentellect. Okay, and she was only 23 or 21. She was still a little girl. So this man has a history. He has a history of dealing with girls. You're not dealing with women, which tells me you don't understand the woman. And this is your main issue. Yeah. As we could see how he was talking to the girl that was with him and how he got girls. Like, this is no coincidence. And like I said, I told this brother, you got to learn how to respect women. And it starts with your mama first. Okay. Yeah. You don't get past that. Whatever you're trying to do, it does not matter. It's not going to work. And that's the big issue. We saw that with Nature Boy. Okay. We saw that with Dr. York's charges. Okay. We see that with Nexum. Okay. Sexual abuse or any kind of abuse towards women will take you down. We have so many examples before, you know, so why would you continue to do the same thing that happened to people and somebody that he knew, Dr. York, but in his eyes, you know, he don't think that Dr. York did it or whatever, but it's the same mindset. It's the same illness. It's the same sickness. And he carries that, and he makes the women think these things too. So they become misogynist too. This is the scary part.
You know another thing that's weird, and I asked Sister Essence. One of the things that I seen, and he took the website down now. Like,
Of course he did.
I mentioned something on the website, and the next day the website was gone. You know what I'm saying? But I already copied everything. Don't worry about it. That's for a future show. Yeah, that's for like another show. And on the website, it says it was $100 a month per member.
And the age is 20.
Yeah, and the age is 20. I got the thing. I copied the whole website. But one thing that I noticed is that he says that oh yeah, he took that thing down real fast. You know what I mean? But it was too late. I already got it. But because before I go hard, I go do my research first. I get everything ready. And then I'm gone for 6 months. You know what I mean? I got you. I got you for 6 months. You only gonna talk about when I was a crazy youth for about 2 weeks. I'm gonna go for 6 months on you. They make you go to the European, the same people that you claim that is evil. I make you go to them and file something on me. But with that being said, sis, one of the things that I notice is he says, and I might have to grow my beard, because he said that those in the Mentellect, they can't have no facial hair. I don't want to be confused. I might have to grow my demonstration, man. What is that all about? Is that did you any teachings behind that?
So he said that men who have beards are homosexuals, and they have beards because they're trying to hide their face and who they really are.
Good night.
And even though it makes sense, it still made me think, okay, so why do you have shades on? It always brought back in my mind.
But let me bring you back. I don't want to cut your wisdom. I got to cut your wisdom because you said it makes sense. But all throughout history in different cultures,
even a Native American,
some people wore beards, some people didn't. It all depended upon the culture. For example, ancient Kemet. This was a part of the culture. It was just culture. And for Muslims, for example, they grow the beard out because Prophet Muhammad wore a beard. Nothing more to it to that. Prophet Muhammad wore a beard. In the NOI, you see, you look at Nuri Muhammad, you know he laid that thing to the side like Farrakhan. You already know. He laid it to the side, you know what I mean? Because it becomes a part of the culture. And when you see a lot of brother in the NOI, like Sister Jamila said, they got that part. It ultimately becomes a part of the culture. And just to paint everybody being gay for a beard, that's the weirdest thing that I've ever heard.
There's no logic behind that, no science, no nothing behind it. You're just saying stuff. Who says those?
That's a wide brush right there. That's a super wide brush.
The reason I say it makes sense, because again, I don't see eyes through the physical. I see through the spiritual. I don't see through the physical. So when he's speaking, I don't see it as, oh, okay, they have a beard, but you know, everybody has a beard. I don't think like that. I'm thinking spiritually. People do like to hide spiritually, and they feel like certain things hide their features and hide certain things so nobody can see who they are.
I feel what you're saying about that.
You know, I'm not thinking on a physical plane. I'm thinking.
But when you go to the ATL, they got some tough brothers that's gay and all outdoors, and they got beards all over their face and high heels. No, real beards, the full demonstration.
And not hiding their sexuality.
Well, I'm not saying them as the vessel hiding.
I know what you're saying. I see what you're saying. You're on a metaphysical type understanding. I got what you're saying. Absolutely.
Demons that are hiding behind the vessel, and they're using this persona or this person as a vessel, and they making them think like just grow your beard out, you know, stuff like that. I understand what he's saying, but as far as, you know, men just wanting to be men, and men just wanting to change up, you know, how women change their hair, you know, I don't see where he was going with that. But like I said, on a spiritual vision, that's what I was getting. So
let me break down where he was going with that. Let me break down what he's doing with that. One thing about cults, right? They have to try to control as much of your behavior as they can.
Absolutely.
They have to. So when people join the More Science, I'm a Grand Sheik of the More Science Temple. So when people join the More Science Temple, they say, Grand Sheik, do I have to do this? Do I have to do that? I say, you ain't got to do nothing. I say, I'll teach you the standard. And when you're ready, you can blossom into it. You know what I mean? So for instance, I'm a vegetarian, right? And I teach that we should not kill to survive. You know, so we shouldn't kill animals to eat animals. And I know we got people that eat meat, but I've got to the point where I believe, have confidence and faith that we can eat without killing. You know what I'm saying? And that's a whole science in itself, right? And so when people join the More Science, they will say, I got to be a vegetarian. You absolutely don't have to be. No. But let me show you the science why I am. And if it resonates with you, then by all means, if that's what you feel you want to go, then go ahead. And so that's what life is all about. Life is all about you making decisions that's right for you and that elevates you, not decisions that you're compelled to make. And so what cults happen is, what happened in cults, they compel people to make decisions. You got to pray like this. In the Islamic faith, you got to make salat, prostrate just like this. Even though in the Quran, it does not descriptively say it like that. You got to dress. It says in the Quran that you got to dress modestly. But then some man will codify how a woman got to dress.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? They're going to codify. You got the, it said loose, and then they're going to have you peeking out a sheet.
That part.
And you understand what I'm saying? And so that's a form of control. And so in every cult, their doctrine may not be sound, but every little point of control, how you shave, how you wear your hair, how you dress, what you put on. And even when you look at some of the pictures when they come together, they look like a codified, and pardon for my Jehovah's Witness, they look like a codified Jehovah's Witness with that black and Superman colors on. They look like Jehovah's Witness. And I'm saying to myself, no one have self-expression when you see them pictures. And no disrespect to anybody, but that's classic cult. That's classic cult because they control everything. And when it gets real extreme, they control what you eat. They control how you dress. They control how you talk. They control when you talk. They control what you read, what you don't read, what you listen to, what you don't listen to. Don't listen to them. In Islam, they say they're kafirs. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. They don't want you to get
the sisters in bucket hats. He put the women in bucket hats. Are you kidding me? Like no kind of beautification, no nothing. It's just bucket hats, and they look like stewardess. I wanted to change the uniforms because there was no beauty with the sisters, and the sisters are gorgeous, but you can't see it because you putting them in buckets. That's what we doing.
Absolutely. And that's not how you develop your highest of spirituality. You teach people the truth, and people grow into the truth as they understand it, because as they gradually grow into it, they see the benefits of it and they value it more. You don't compel people to do this type of foolishness. It's insane. But go ahead, take it away, Sister Essence. I got about 10 more minutes. Can we do a part 2, Sister Essence?
Yes.
For real, I got so many questions, but I feel like, you know what I feel like, Sister Jamila, Sister Essence, you know what I feel like? I feel like we just crossed each other at the mall, and I was like, oh, you said this, and we just got to talking, and then time got away.
That part.
we just comfortably talking. You know what I mean? Yeah. We got to do this again. Can we do this next week? Because it's Friday now. Can we do this next week, Sister Essence? I'm serious.
Most definitely.
I got 2 questions before you hold your thought. Don't leave that thought. Somebody in the comment section said, is it a fear of retribution? And I say that because of this. The brother said to me, I don't live in New York no more, and you keep saying stuff about me. I'm like, man, you don't sit your old behind down. That's why Tariq smacked you. I say, okay, just don't bring no camera when you come to smack me. That's all you got to do. But with that being said, it was real aggressive. And passive aggressive, and then aggressive, and then he kind of say, I ain't threatening you. Brother, say whatever you want. And threaten, no threat, it don't matter to me. I ain't gonna tell nobody. I ain't gonna tell nobody. Trust me on that. Unless you got cameras, then I got to say what I had to do. Though I had to get away. I'm a run. I might run if you got cameras, because you know I got a background of I got a criminal background from 20 years ago. So I might got to get away from you, because if I do something to you, it might not end well. And if you them folk, it might not end well for me, and I got children to get home to. So I might get low on you. I ain't got no problem. You a punk, you right. I might run from you if I see that camera. I might. I ain't got no problem. See, that's one thing I ain't got. Man, I get low on you with that camera. If I see the feds around and you acting aggressive, man, I'm getting out your way. I don't want no smoke. And you can say all you want. You can make, guess what? I'm going to be home eating vegan tacos while you laughing on the internet, and we're gonna go to the next show. But my point is, and don't forget that thought you was about to have, do any of you fear of retribution? Because in this comment section, these are some aggressive people over here.
That's cult behavior. That's classic cult behavior.
That's his dominion. That's what he got going on in them. They're not even themselves. They are spiritually compromised because they don't have a soul no more. He sucked them dry. Like, he has sucked them dry, and now he's feeling all, I'm the top demon in charge. Top man in charge. That's how he's thinking. That's how he's thinking.
They're super aggressive over there.
Yeah, and he uses them to talk for them. That is not only cult leader behavior, that is demonic behavior. In its
possession. Form. It's straight up possession. Absolutely. And the sad part about these people is that they don't even know that they're possessed. Why would you feel threatened if your situation is great and everything is wonderful and you can, defend what you got to say? The bottom line is they shouldn't even be here. It don't even matter what anyone is saying, because you're confident in what you have is the truth and nothing but the truth. So what difference does it make? It's number 6 and what you had talk as far as a cult. Abuse of members, number 1. And then if you have ex-followers, the ex-followers are wrong. Everybody's wrong. It's crazy.
And to your point, like you said, when he texted me, he said he was going to do a video. I said, well, I won't be watching it. I'll be busy. I got things to do. I don't care what you say about me, you crazy man. I don't care what you say about me. You crazy. No, listen to me. It would be like me on the bus and the child over there, we're in school, and the child over there spitting spit bubbles and eating the spit bubbles, and then he called me, your mother, and then I punch him in the face
for a reaction. And now you're arguing with you. You look like the bad guy.
Yeah. Why would I be watching you eat spit bubbles? You over there talking about me eating spit bubbles. I'm not tripping off of that. I'm going to put the real out and the real experiences out so people don't get caught up like those who have already got caught up and those who are still caught up. And this one right here says, Paige, one of the most real TV citizens, says Nuben lied and he's a fraud. And the member said, Paige, Mr. Menkarayzz or Karaz, whatever his name, does not lie.
And that's a lie right there.
That part. She lying for him. How about that?
There's another comment. Why talk about Mr. Karez tonight? It's not this. See what I'm talking about?
Why don't he get on his broadcast and talk about anybody?
Not only talk about, got a whole Facebook page.
Come on.
Right.
Like karma. It's karma. That's
see, and this is the thing. The people that he attacked, they never had a voice.
That's
right. You know what I noticed? You know what I noticed? They never had a voice. I seen someone, they had created a page to try to give themselves a voice, and there's nothing on it. Sister Jamila seen it, and there's nothing on the page. They never had a voice. And one thing I say, that Morse World TV is going to give the voice to the voiceless.
Come on.
The voice to the
and Morse World TV, right. Morse World TV a little bit bigger than you, brother. I mean, on the internet, you've been around on Blog TV, but on the internet, we got a track record for telling the truth. And we got a track record for people attacking, pulling up files and records and playing them off the internet, and don't nobody care.
Nobody.
Don't nobody care, because that yesterday is what made me today.
Mm-hmm.
We don't care. But we don't care what you pull up. You know what I mean? That yesterday is what made me today. But we care. Say what you want. You know what I mean?
When I tell you, like, pissed off, like he's having like a really bad tantrum, like it's like he's rolling around the floor. No, don't say this about me. Like it's awful. Like it's so disgusting.
He needs to calm down before he.
And there's nothing he can say. See, it's like I'm a professional here. You know what I mean? This is what I do. I dismantle frauds, cults. I dismantle them. So there's nothing you can do. Like one thing I remember this, and this is a little bit off topic before we get out of here. And I'm gonna let Essence take us out because we're gonna do a part 2. I remember when I first came, and I tell this story all the time. When I first came to the internet, I came to defend the misinformation, disinformation about Moors. And Sinetta was the king of disrespect and misinformation about Moors. It made us look like a cult. It made us look illogical, unreasonable, and just silly. And he would bring all the crazy Moors up there with, and even the prophet Nuben. He says that, oh, you think you can get something out of court and da, da, da. Like, we don't do that. That's he's getting stuff off the internet that he think we do, and he just grabbing stuff out of thin air. You know what I mean? And think that Moors demonstrate that he taking misinformation. But nevertheless, so when I came to the internet, I came to correct some of those lies. You know what I'm saying? And I challenged all of these people. I challenged them all. And so Nuben is just another one. Like, we can go down the list. We can go down the list. I'm talking about way bigger than Nuben. Way bigger than Nuben. You know what I'm saying? We can go down a list. And at the end of the day, no matter what attacks came our way, it ain't changed nothing.
Yeah.
We get you gone. You know how many people gone right now? Malik Zulu Shabazz. Where you at?
And he seemed to be really big.
Big shirt. Big Crystal Muhammad. Where she at? We can keep naming them. We can keep naming them. You know what I'm saying? I remember one night Kryptonite was just naming them. So we can do this until you go to the Romans. Because that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go to the Romans.
He already threatened to do that.
You're gonna go to the Romans. Yeah. You're gonna have to go to the Romans against me. Because nothing you can do can affect me. Nothing you can say. You can't think that I'm in high school and say your mama and I'm gonna try to get out of character. That's what I grew up on. Mama jokes, big eye jokes.
Exactly.
I grew up on you. What you gonna talk about my eyes? You ugly. My wife think I'm handsome.
Heard it all.
Okay.
Before. Right.
Yes.
Ain't nothing you can say.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But with that being said, Essence, can you wrap us up? But don't give us too much because we got to do a part 2. This was. Hey, family, press 7 if this was an enlightening conversation. I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed this. But say what all of this time, right? And you haven't been able to really get it off your chest unless you was talking to people that had experienced the same thing. But if you had to get this off your chest and like, man, and it was bottled up, what is that like? What is that conversation like? In a snapshot.
Ooh. I just really want people to know that you're going to have a lot of people to take you away from things that they feel is best for you. But if you have a calling and you know it's for the betterment of not only you, but everybody else surrounding you, take that calling because you're the only person that can hear it. And if you're the only person that can hear it, it's for you. So what Nuben is doing is taking, because what he teaches is spirituality is a no-go. Spirituality is demonic. Spirituality is this. Spirituality is that. But yet, spirituality is how it's like you said. stepping stones, but I say it's the staircase to the highest you. If you don't take that journey, that's why it's called a spiritual journey for a reason. If you don't take that spiritual journey, you will never reach your highest self. So he just slaps the steps by smacking out spirituality. How do you think that y'all are going to reach y'all highest self? That's his goal. You're not supposed to.
See, that's why I said we need a part 2. Because how do you make the connection without, because like I said, we create language. Man creates language. And spirituality, by definition, is not a bad thing.
It's just another language. It's just another way to.
It's a word to express a connection to the universal creator. Some call Allah, some call Jehovah, some call, and as man unfold, as God unfold. In other words, as man unfold, the way that he see God or she see God today, it might be a little bit advanced tomorrow, and a little bit more advanced the next day, and a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, into infinity. And so how do you take a word like spirituality? Now I can see how people use religion and say that, and that's even misused for the sense, because religion can't do anything. It's the people that claim they're about religion that's evil. The religion is just a doctrine. You know what I'm saying? And true religion just means to tie down or tie back and to bound back to that which you come from, or to bind back, from that which your source is. So even the essence of what religion is not what people represent it to be. And so even when we look at these true meaning of these words, how do we allow, not you, sis, and those who are listening, this is for those who are listening, how do we allow one to take something that's by definition has nothing to do with what you're talking about, and then we run with it? By definition, spirituality by definition has nothing to do with evil, has nothing to do by definition. And even we have given it a connotation that it's more beneficial than religion. What do our people say? I'm spiritual, not religious.
I'm religious, right? That part.
Didn't even gave it a good connotation.
We get the information though.
So how do he, of all the people in the world, take this word and now can convince his collective, everybody in the world, he can convince his collective that is opposite of what the definition in the word was designed for.
Because even American Indians, who he claimed to be a whole lineage, and we got a whole conversation on that too. Even American Indians practice spirituality. So that's where he said he come from.
Mr. Menkarayzz said the word spirituality come from white man. Let me take this one real quick. Mr. comes from white man, men come from white man, and jazz come from white man. What are you talking about? Do you understand how words are created and developed?
No clue.
Words are created and developed from word sound and representation to identify a thing. And so in the English rendition of any word, it's normally connected to the Afro-Asiatic languages. Real words, not Menkarayzz. You just took two words together and made something. That's the white man. That's what he took. He took them grunts. And
what he's spoken come from the white man, them chemicals, that part. Yeah.
And that's another thing. Why do people think that this guy can be some type of religious guy, religious leader with that piece of doo-doo hanging out his mouth all the time?
That part.
He got a long piece of doo-doo hanging out his mouth. He thinks that cool.
Let him tell it.
That look real tacky. That looks real tacky. I'm talking about for one to say that they're a spiritual leader, or not a spiritual leader, that they're connected to the Most High. That look real tacky with a piece of doo-doo hanging out their mouth. That ain't slick.
And they don't even know the science behind none of it. Like, don't know nothing. Like, real bad. Like, real bad.
I'm just saying, if you're going to teach a people right, if you're going to teach your people, and you got to do that, even if it's good for you or something like that, take the doo-doo out your mouth and just teach.
That part.
You just got a log of doo-doo hanging out your mouth with sunglasses on in the house.
Not a log.
A log of doo-doo. Come on, brother. You could do better than that. You know what I mean? You could do better than that. Like, and people who follow that gives, and you know what? That gives you indication of even the followers. Because if someone can't tell him, brother, every time I see you on that screen with that, whatever you smoking, bro, it's just not attractive. It just don't look good. It's just not becoming. It actually takes away from your message.
Yeah.
It takes away because everybody, what is he doing? Is that
but
a
you
blunt?
got these wives, like they're not saying nothing. Like you just letting your man look like an idiot on camera.
It looks crazy.
Well, you know, at first we couldn't smoke weed. At first, he said no weed.
And he got his money right. Then what happened?
All of a sudden, it was a broadcast. He said, you know, I dabble here and there. I dabble here and there smoking, but I get mine from the Jamaicans. In my head, I'm just sitting up here like, wait one damn minute. I know.
And now he's addicted. He can't even stop. He can't even stop smoking. He's whole addicted to it. Like real talk. It's really bad. He smoke them like cigarettes, like back to back. It's ridiculous.
I see him. And Amin ain't helping him.
Nope.
Amin said you're on your own.
Oh, he's not. He was protected, but he's not protected anymore. There's a lot of people in that community that went in.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
No, we not buying that. I don't know. Yeah, now I'm kind of scratching my head on that.
No, I think what happened though, Essence, is what happened is a lot of these cult leaders. What happened is they are able to cover up themselves for long periods of time. They are able to shield themselves. See, on Blog Talk Radio, can't nobody see you.
Right.
We in a visual world now.
Right.
We visual now. In Blog Talk, most of the people that on Blog Talk, they fell off when YouTube came. Most of them fell off. You know what I'm saying? And this is why Sonetta was able to facilitate and capitalize off of other people's talents, because they weren't able to operate in this communication space. You see what I'm saying? And so Sonetta made a hub, and he took their talents and took it to the bank. So he's even now, he's trying to use social media, but he fails horribly. That's why he got so many pages everywhere. He fails horribly. He got Mentellect 644, Mentellect 144. He got Amin Ra. Not Amin Ra. He got Amin High Zone. Amin this. He fails miserably because see, he was in the blog space. You could smoke dope and be on the phone in the blog space.
And that is what? Agent T behavior. Having all them damn profiles for what?
He got so many profiles. He got a lot of profiles. And I'm gonna tell you, some of them are just ghost profiles.
Yes. Yes, he was stalking me on TikTok.
Good night.
Wow. I stopped doing lives on TikTok because he was being a nuisance.
Has he? See, we go do part 2 next week. Hey, has he ever described Amin? What
Amin look like?
What he looked like? What his character?
You know what he said?
What
Amin look like me. That's what he said.
Oh no! I ain't never heard him. But he said it was a race. He said it's not one being. He said it was a race. So
he said, quote unquote, Amin look like me. He got real quote unquote passionate, and he said this.
And you tell me that ain't no cult.
Oh yeah, that's a whole cult, all day and all night. You ain't even got to go past number 1 to know that it's a cult. Oh my goodness.
So, fam, we got to get out of here, man. I love this conversation. Hey,
Yes.
Essence, please, next week, Sister Jamila, please, next week. And
Oh, yeah,
anybody
I'm
out there that want to join this, that have some experiences, we got a nice lineup for you. We would love to hear your experience. We would love to hear you articulate it, so those that are watching some of these casts will not fall victim to it. I listened to some. I was like, man, where do I send my $100? I was like, oh, wake up. I'm a Motion American. Wake up. He got me for like 2 minutes. I was like, oh, I was listening to him, and I said, man, okay, we gonna be the bright race. Yeah, we the most intelligent. Yeah. I was like, where do I swipe at?
Well, on part two, we'll talk about Sammy Watkins. I think he was like an NFL player or something like that almost got sucked in, but absolutely. It was too much controversy.
That was just like me. I'm telling you, I was like, where do I swipe at? I was like, hold up. And I got a picture of Prophet Noble Drew Ali looking at me and said, boy, you better sit your behind there. I said, oh, because I thought I wanted to be the bright being, the bright people. But why did he have a picture of the bright people looking like Europeans though? Y'all seen that?
I don't know. After even
I'm just the last one.
Even when I was in the I'm sorry.
No, you good. Go ahead, sis.
Oh, even while I was in the Republic, I had to stop listening to him. I stopped listening to him even when I was in the Republic. And he would ask me, did you listen to the broadcast? Yeah, I did. And listen to a lick of nothing.
Look, check this out.
You and so many more people stopped listening to it. I know for a fact.
On Vlog Talk Radio, right? He has this picture as the thumbnail. And it says, why the next generation of Mentellect will be powerful. What Minecraft and how does that apply to the next generation of Mentellect? What exactly that supreme law and order of the next generation? But look at the thumbnail.
He had to be trying to say something else because that don't make no sense.
None of it makes it. But listen, the next generation had to be. I'm gonna tell you what it seems to be. It seems to be implying that this is the next generation. Now, hold up. Why did I say that? Why do I say that? Because there's nothing in there disparaging to this in any of these pictures. Nothing whatsoever. 1 second. Not only did he do it one time, let me show it to you. There's nothing to indicate that this is a shot at this phenotype.
Okay. Yeah, because that's why I'm like, so why does he keep showing it? Is that wait a minute.
It says, why is the next generation so powerful? That's the name of the podcast.
What is
listen to it?
What exactly is the supreme law? Yeah.
There's nothing disparaging in this broadcast that would say that it's trying to demonize Europeans, or it appears. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, and I don't mind being corrected. But it appears that he's saying that that's what the next bright beings look like.
Well, what I can say is that we did have like a private cast one time, and he was using the movie The Omen, Damien, saying that was the Amen race or something. So that's the only thing I can attribute to that, because those are Caucasians, and so is the character of Damien in The Omen. And he was saying that those powers that Damien had was what the bright race was going to have. Like, it was all night. So that's the only thing I could kind of put together in that. Yeah.
Well, anyway, anybody want to say anything in closing? Happy holy day for all Muslims all over the world. This was a beautiful, beautiful demonstration here. Anything want to say in closing to next week? Can y'all do some brainstorming for next week so we can do this again? I got a bunch of questions, but I was just chopping it up tonight.
I think because you got a lot of his people saying that this was a defamation of character, and how can we defame somebody else's character? He doing it himself.
Well, defamation of But defamation of character is really hard to prove. Your experience is not legally defamation. I mean, your experience is not defamation. It's
That
relative.
part.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
it's really like that doesn't fit legal definition. You're gonna waste some money trying to take somebody to court with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something, it's very expensive.
Yeah.
Oh
I
Look,
yeah.
he didn't
know.
even pay me all my money back. I'm
Yeah,
here.
because I
Sister
got mine
Jamila
back.
got her money back. He ain't pay me nothing back. Nothing. Even though he can say you was never paying your dues. Hell, I see why I wasn't paying my dues, because this wasn't real. It was faulty. You think I'm gonna continue to put money? No, I'm not.
But
So the money that I did
see, I
put
got so
in,
many
I didn't get
questions.
back.
I got so
But
many
we'll get
questions.
into that. We'll get into that next show, Tahaka, because
Don't
we
forget,
will.
write that down. Write that one
Yeah, I
down.
got it. Look,
Write
I
down
got a
all
whole
the
book.
talking points. Write down
Yeah.
all the talking points. Send them to me. Sister Essence, you write down some talking points. Send them to me,
Okay.
and we be back next week. I appreciate
Okay.
y'all. Cause
All
I'm
right.
cause if I don't stop this, I'm gonna go all night. I love this conversation. It flows so well. Appreciate you, Sister Essence. Appreciate you, Sister
Yes.
Jamela. And
All right.
we're gonna set a date for next week. All right.
All right.
Yes.
Peace.
All right, peace and love, peace and love.
All
So,
right.
family, you got to admit, this was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful broadcast, family. This was a beautiful, beautiful broadcast. Takaya, man, we got to give Takaya a wrench, man. Hey, she need a wrench, man. She be holding it down, man. We need that feminine energy with a wrench. You know what I'm saying? That's right. Sister Takaya need a wrench, man. Wait till I get on my other program. I can't do it right here, right now, but I got to give her a wrench, man. She be holding it down, man. I appreciate her. But family, listen. At the end of the day, family, this is not about bashing anybody. If you want to see bashing, he's gonna do a video. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna call the sister bees. He's gonna call me a woman beater. He's gonna do all that. This is not about bashing anybody. This man, we talked the whole night. We talked about cult mentality. Last show, we didn't even bash nothing. We made a lot of jokes. But at the end of the day, we didn't do no bashing. We just told the truth as it is. And we're not going to do no bashing. We're going to tell truth. We're going to show some receipts, and we're going to allow people to tell their truth. So if you have been a part of Mentellect, all you got to do is send me an email, taharabay@gmail.com. But I will tell you to send me some sort of receipt, because I don't want people coming up here just because they disgruntled. I don't want you come up here angry. I want you come up here because you think that your story can help somebody not to go down the road that you went down. I don't want you come up here. Sometimes our emotions can get involved. As you can see, Sister Essence was smiling. Sister Jamila, they were smiling, because it's not a revenge thing. It's not a retribution. It's, man, this was a heck of a journey, and I'm going to share it so other people won't have to go down this road. So if you want to tell your story, you're welcome to tell it here on Morse World TV. Again, just don't bring your anger. And you may be angry, but anger only destroys you. Hate only destroys you. You feel what I'm saying? It only destroys you. So with that being said, family, I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Looking forward to the next show. This was amazing. Doc was supposed to be here tonight, but Doc got caught up in them allergies, and I had the allergies too. Is it warm where y'all at? It was 78 degrees here. And man, them allergies was tearing me up today. I mean, they tore up everybody. You know what I'm saying? But I said I wanted to try to do this whole week. I only missed one day this week. So I appreciate each and every one of y'all, and family. We'll be back. I'll probably be back on Saturday. Definitely Sunday. But please share this, thumbs up this. This is quality broadcasting here on Morse World TV. Peace and love, family.